Okay, now, hey, Jermall, I want to pronounce your last name right because I don't want to get into a fight, you know what I mean, where I know I'll lose, you know what I mean? So please tell me your last name.
Charlo.
Jermall Charlo is on the... Okay, now, hey, Jermall, I want to pronounce your last name right because I don't want to get into a fight, you know what I mean, where I know I'll lose, you know what I mean? So please tell me your last name.
Charlo.
Jermall Charlo is on the...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Charlo versus Adams media conference call. Your host for today is Ray Flores. Ray, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, as we want to welcome the media that is joining us from all over the world. This Saturday, Showtime Championship Boxing is back with a tremendous night of boxing featuring Jermall Charlo, the interim WBC middleweight champion of the world, as he puts his title on the line against the rising Brandon the Cannon Adams. It all comes away from NRG Arena down in Houston. It's great to be down in Houston. It's a wonderful fight town. And honestly, Houston has the Charlo brothers to really look up to, and this is a homecoming for Jermall this upcoming Saturday, but it will not be easy. He has a very difficult contender in front of him in Brandon Adams. Saturday night's event comes your way 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock local time, 6 Pacific time, brought to you by Lions Only Promotions, TGB Promotions, in association with Banner Promotions, and also the Tournament of the Contenders, Artie Palulo of Banner, and also Jeff Waldo of the Tournament of Contenders. They're on the call if the media has any questions for them whatsoever. Tickets are going great. They are going fast, and they're available now through Ticketmaster.com. This is a tremendous card, but obviously our focus is the main event with Jermall Charlo and Brandon Adams. To further dive into that, and in my opinion, one of the smartest minds that the world of boxing has ever seen and has ever gotten to know, please welcome the president of TGB Promotions, my dear friend, Mr. Tom Brown.
Why don't you move on to Stephen?
So as we wait for Tom, I will turn it over to a man who's absolutely a visionary when it comes to the sport of boxing. He's done a phenomenal job when it comes to televising boxing and his network, putting on sensational fights and being a part of the biggest events that combat sports has ever seen. He is the president of sports and event programming of Showtime. Here is Mr. Stephen Espinoza.
Thanks very much, Ray. We are thrilled to be hosting this call and hosting the event Charlo versus Adams this Saturday. For Jermall Charlo, we welcome him back to Showtime. This will be his 9th appearance on Showtime, and in many ways, both Jermall and Jermell sort of came of age on Showtime. Jermall has appeared on ShowBox, has appeared on Showtime Extreme, and 5 times on Championship Boxing. So he truly has matured as a professional. We've seen him grow into the middleweight division. This will be Brandon's first appearance on Showtime. We welcome him to the network. And of course, this is a homecoming for Jermall Charlo. This will be his 3rd fight in Houston, but really his first fight as a headliner in a championship level event. He's fought twice in Houston before, back in 2009 and 2012, but both of those were 6-round fights, I believe. So after 20 fights in 7 years, this is a true homecoming after being away from Houston in other fights for quite some time. Jermall, in just his 4th fight in the middleweight division, has clearly established himself as one of the top fighters in the division. That is without question. And one thing that you get with Jermall Charlo is fireworks. He has stopped 19 of his last 22 opponents. I'm sure everyone on this call saw a very impressive stoppage by his brother 2 nights ago on Sunday. And as competitive as these two are with each other, I'm sure Jermall has similar plans in mind. Of course, Brandon Adams has something to say about that. Brandon is a up-and-coming star of his own, has impressed quite a bit through the contender tournament, and certainly earned his way into the top 15 of the division and earned his fight. So we expect fireworks on Saturday as usual, a big homecoming night for Jermall, a good test in Brandon Adams, and we will see you all there on Saturday night.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Greatly appreciate it. As you know, Stephen diving into details in regards to the appearances that Jermall Charlo has had, and for Brandon Adams, this is a wonderful opportunity for him to showcase his ability on Showtime Championship Boxing. Without further ado, I wanted to turn it over to another promoter that is involved in Saturday night's event. I mentioned Tom Brown, but she's actually the daughter of Tom Brown. She's the vice president of TGB Promotions, does an excellent job of helping to put together so many different things when it comes to the sport of boxing. Please welcome Brittany Goosen Brown.
Thanks, Ray. Yeah, we're excited. This is our second fight in a week with a Charlo, so we're looking forward to another one. Obviously, we love working with Showtime and Lions only. We're looking forward to a great show on Saturday night. And I don't want to keep everyone on the call too long, so let's get it over to the fighters.
Thank you very much, Brittany. And yes, we have been very busy, obviously, as Stephen mentioned. Jermall Charlo's performance on Sunday. Now we crank it up on Saturday night. Let's meet the adversary for Jermall Charlo. First of all, he is the co-trainer of Brandon Adams. Talk about having and being a Hall of Famer and countless times Trainer of the Year. Someone who is just a visionary when it comes to the sport of boxing and knows talent. Honor and a pleasure for me to introduce Freddie Roach.
Hello, how are you?
Freddie, do you have any comments when it comes to how training camp has gone for Brandon and your thoughts about his matchup coming up against Jermall Charlo?
Yeah, we had a great training camp. It was really well. We had a lot of good sparring at the Wild Card Boxing Club, and he's in great shape for the fight, and he's 100% ready for this fight. He's a good puncher, good boxer, and we know Charlo's a tough opponent, of course, but we did everything in our power to get in shape to win this fight.
Thank you very much, Freddie. And also, I will turn it over to the longtime trainer of Brandon Adams, who Freddie will be working and has been working hand in hand with. Literally, I mentioned this in the kickoff presser, but he's always smiling, always in great spirits, and has devoted so much time to the sport of boxing. Please welcome the longtime trainer, Brandon Adams. Here is Dub Huntley. Dub?
Say hello.
This is Doug Huntley, and I'm glad to be here and looking for a great fight.
Thank you very much, Dub. Greatly appreciated. Now let's welcome the man who is going to be inside the ring across from Jermall Charlo. His record, 21 wins, 13 of those coming by way of knockout against 2 defeats. Fighting out of Watts, California, which is nearby to Los Angeles. He actually went up the middleweight rankings by capturing the contender, the 2018 reboot of the contender. He was victorious over Shane Mosley Jr. by unanimous decision. I've had an opportunity to get to know Brandon Adams through the years, working with Banner Promotions, and he's always in tip-top shape. He's always prepared. He's always focused. And when he got the call to fight Jermall Charlo, immediately said yes when other people would deny it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brandon the Cannon Adams.
Hey, everybody. How everybody doing? I'm excited about this coming Saturday, June 29th, to get in the ring and share the ring with Jermall Charlo. I'm sure he did everything he was supposed to do to prepare for this fight, but we also did. And I hear you guys keep talking about fireworks, and his name is the Hitman, and I'm the Cannon. So, we're going to see who shoots the biggest shot.
Absolutely love it. Thank you very much to Brandon the Cannon Adams. And yes, as Brandon mentioned, it's going to be explosive down in Houston. I hear the weather is hot down in Houston. It's going to be hotter inside the ring and inside NRG Arena as we go live with Showtime Championship Boxing, 9 Eastern, 8 o'clock local time, 6 Pacific. Let's meet Brandon Adams' opponent when it comes to his team. Ronnie Shields has been very, very busy as of late. He was in the corner on Sunday of Guillermo Rigondeaux, trains countless outstanding fighters, and he is the lead trainer for Jermall Charlo. And Ronnie has done and accomplished so much in boxing. A round of applause, and please welcome my dear friend, Mr. Ronnie Shields.
Thanks, Ray. Yeah, I want to say hello to everybody. We're looking forward to everybody's coming down to Houston for this event. And, you know, we have been working hard. We've been training, you know, like we always do. You know, we work hard for every fight. So we know Brandon is a really, really good fighter. And we're looking for.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. Greatly appreciated. Now let's meet the man who's going to be having his homecoming on Saturday night on Showtime Championship Boxing. Again, Saturday night's event brought to you by Lions Only Promotions, TGB Promotions, in association with Banner Promotions, and the Tournament of the Contenders. This man's record, 28 bouts, 28 victories, 21 of those coming by way of knockout. He's the interim WBC middleweight champion of the world, former junior middleweight world champion, coming to be front and center in his hometown of Houston, having picked up the interim title with a unanimous decision over Matt Korobov in December. A very focused, determined, hard-hitting, understands his craft, and looking to make another definitive statement in his homecoming fight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jermall Charlo.
Hey, how everybody doing today? I want to thank everybody who made the fight possible. Thanks to Brandon Adams' team and Huntley and Freddie Roach, great friends of Ronnie Shields. Also, thank everybody in Houston who bought tickets to come out to this event. It's going to be a great event. I'm looking forward to having you know, a good night and a good strong performance from my behalf. You know, I'm putting everything on the line, so that's what it's all about. And you know, I'm ready to get in there and do what I have to do.
Thank you very much, Jermall. And as Jermall pointed out, you know, there's a buzz in Houston. We were there for the kickoff presser. There's a buzz. There is excitement from the media and from fight fans, as this is a fan-friendly fight will no doubt provide plenty of entertainment. Now we will turn it over to the operator, and if the media has any questions for both fighters and their camps.
Absolutely. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please dial *1 on your telephone keypad. Again, that's *1 on your telephone keypad. And it looks like we already have a few questions coming in. Let's see. We're going to start with Carlos Toro with Fightful. Bear with me one moment. All right, Carlos, your line is open.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming in to talk to us on this call. First couple of questions for Brandon. Brandon, you know, coming out of the fight, how is the contender, how is the preparation for this fight, being a 12-rounder against a top middleweight, compare when you were doing 5-round fights in quick succession last year for the show?
The preparation for this fight was sort of similar to how I prepared to fight Shane in the 10-round fight. Knowing and understand that in them five rounds that we fought on the contender, we had to display as much as we can within 5 rounds to get the victory. And then making that transition to fighting for 10 and 12-round fights, you know, it's about the work you put in, the conditioning and the training. I feel like, you know, me and my team went over that pretty well. So I'm excited to try to go 12 rounds if need be, or whatever, you know, case is possible. I'm just excited to be in this, to get this opportunity and to be in the ring with one of the top fighters in the world and establish myself.
You know, after the loss to John Thompson a few years back, you were out of the ring for several years, and now you're back in this position in the main event. Can you talk a little more about that time that you took out of the ring after the loss to John Thompson? Sort of what went through your mind as you were making the decision to sort of come back and fight on the contender?
Sure thing, Carlos. Mainly, really, the 3 years that I had off, I had some time to really self-reflect, to figure out, you know, went wrong that fight. You know, it was weight loss. There was a lot of weight loss right before I fought John. So, I mean, understanding that was just a shell of myself and knowing that I was capable of much more, Yeah, like I said, man, I had 3 years of reflecting. It was dark times, dark hours, man, but I needed that, and that's also molded me into the person I am today. And that's why, I'm looking forward to challenging myself and also, challenging the boxing world and to prove that, that I belong at the top.
Couple of questions for Jermall. I mean, Jermall, you've held the interim WBC belt for more than a year now. We haven't really heard anything from the WBC enforcing a fight between you and Canelo Alvarez. Does it get frustrating at times knowing that you're essentially his WBC mandatory and there's no real timetable for when you'll get your shot at the world title?
It's definitely not frustrating. I'm living the best life I can possibly live right now. I'm young. I'm very healthy. I have my family. I have my closest friends, my trainer, Ronnie Shields. We'll handle the situations as they come. Right now, I'm focused on Brandon Adams. I'm locked in. I'm loaded. I'm ready. I'm ready to put on the best performance I have in me.
Did you get to see much of Brandon during the contender season? And if so, what did you think of him?
I was real cool friends with Sugar Shane Mosley and his son. I spent a lot of time with those guys. So of course, yes, I knew him well of who I was fighting when I got the call and said, we have an opponent. But far as studying goes, you have to get into camp and really break down some of the things. And my trainer, Ronnie Shields, does an awesome job of that. And we implement everything perfectly. He's drawing out a game plan. He's drawing out some shots that I feel like will be needed and much intended to throw in this fight.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Jermall. Best of luck to the both of you on Saturday.
Thank you.
And our next question comes from Keith Idek. Keith, your line is open. Keith, your line is open.
Brandon, when you were away from the ring for so long, did you think that you would not fight again?
To be honest, man, I was always optimistic about the opportunity of being able to fight. I just didn't know how long it would take. That's pretty much that was pretty much at the front and the back of my mind, honestly. Just getting the opportunity to be able to fight again. We know naturally I fight 154, but the opportunity for me to fight at 160 came, and it was under the contender situation, so I jumped towards it, and I moved forward from that, and now I'm in this position right here, and I'm extremely grateful for that.
Brandon, you're obviously giving away some size in this fight, in terms of height, and he's a natural middleweight. What are your thoughts on that, being the smaller guy in the fight?
Not too much of a thought. My whole life, I've always been small, so fighting guys who's taller than me never really brought too much of an issue. I just got to focus upon me, period. Whomever I'm fighting against, whether they're big, tall, short, wide, I just focus on being the best Brandon Adams, and I always feel like I'm a prevail.
Brandon, how big of a step up do you consider this in terms of competition from Shane Mosley Jr. to Jermall? Obviously, he's a world-class fighter and an interim champion. So how big of a step up do you consider this?
This is the step up. This is the biggest fight of my career. Of course, my first opportunity to fight on Showtime, the fight in front of a huge crowd like this, to fight a guy in his hometown, who's what he brings to the table. But I appreciate it all, man. I'm looking forward to challenge myself to show that them 3 years that I had off, what they meant to me, whether if it was good or bad, to put it all on the line and bite down and get through this one, and then reflect on it all.
Brandon, winning the contender obviously changed your career for the better. What would pulling off an upset Saturday mean to you, and what would it do for your career and your life?
I'll grab all this stuff.
Well, to be quite honest, I don't know exactly what to do for my life at this particular moment because I haven't won it yet. But I could imagine it. It could definitely make me feel good, morally. Beating a guy like Jermall, it could definitely build the confidence a little higher than what it is. But I've always felt good.
You want me to bring your
for this fight?
the one that,
And
no, I didn't know if you wanted me to bring it or not.
Sure.
I'll have to get it.
So,
Yep.
Brandon, I'm not sure what you said there. Someone was talking over you. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, I believe, it definitely built the confidence a whole lot more, but I was always, confident and believed in myself from, day one. So, I mean, like, but still, even with that being said, I'm sure it'd do wonders for my morale and everything, but I don't know exactly what it would do for me at this particular moment because I haven't won just yet. I know the skies could be the limit.
Okay. I also have a question for Ronnie, if he's still on the line. Ronnie, just what do you think of Brandon? How you doing, Ronnie?
Great.
What kind of challenges does Brandon present for Jermall?
Well, there's a lot of challenges. I mean, anytime you step in a ring with somebody who's a good puncher and has experience, I mean, he presents a challenge. Brandon has a style that he has a friendly style, a fan-friendly style that that we have to get used to and have to prepare for. So and he's a very confident young man. So we know this, and so we have to pull out all the stops. We always train hard. It's not like we don't, for every fight. But we look at this as the biggest challenge that we've ever had, and that's how we look at every opponent.
Thank you, Ronnie. Jermall, I just have a question for you. Oftentimes when a guy fights in his hometown, there are a lot of distractions, with tickets and all kinds of other obligations. What have you done to kind of guard against those things so you don't become distracted leading up to the fight?
I'm not distracted. It's all been fun. It's a big experience for me. This is my first time fighting in my hometown, so like in a while, 7 years. So the first time, I actually helped sell tickets, and now it's like, I'm not really a part of that ticket thing. So, I just want to tell you, I'm just, I'm focused, I'm locked in.
Thank you, guys.
All right, our next question comes from Brian Bearfield with Houston Style Magazine. Your line is open.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Good.
How you doing?
All right. Mr. Charlo, I have a question for you. Last week, you opened up your camp to the media, and I had a chance to be able to be there. And you had a lot of, family and friends that are watching you as you train on that day. How motivated is it going to be for you to fight in front of your home crowd on Saturday?
I'm excited. I'm excited. It feels good to be at home. It feels good to be able to have the hometown fans behind me and become the hero here or whatnot. But I'm locked in. I'm loaded. I'm ready for everything Brandon has to present to me, and I'll deal with it as it comes. Just as well as the crowd.
And Mr. Charlo, I know that you are, motivated, and I know you're focused on this fight. But how proud of you how proud are you at his victory on Sunday night?
Say it again. How proud? What?
How proud are you of your brother who got his knockout victory on Sunday night?
Oh, I'm proud. I'm proud of my brother. My brother delivered a statement. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Got a chance to go out and see it and train with him and cut weight with him and have fun with him, and the end results was everything.
Now fighting at home, does that mean a lot not only to you but to your mother as well? Because last week your mother talked about some of the the adverse situation that you all had to go through as far as becoming boxers. So is it important to fight in front of her as well?
Yeah, my mom is one of the biggest factors in my career right now. She means a lot to me. So fighting in front of her is nothing different. I've always fought in front of my mom. She's always been tuned in. We just doing it at home now. That's only different.
And Mr. Adams, how great is it to have world-renowned Freddie Roach in your corner?
Having Dub and Freddie Roach in my corner means a lot to me because I started boxing relatively late, pretty much when I was around 20. And that's over 100 years of boxing, learning from the both of those guys. So I'm just being a student, soaking it all in and taking as much as I possibly can and form it to the best Brandon that I possibly can, if that makes sense.
Yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our next question comes from Peter Lim with BoxingScene.com. Peter, your line is open.
Thank you. My first question is for Jermall. You were in Jermall's corner on Sunday. Is he going to return the favor, and what does he bring to the table?
Jermall will be here. Yeah, he returned the favor. We both support each other, and we realize how much we need each other at this day and age, and everything that we're up against. So yeah, for sure he should return the favor.
Okay. Do you feel any pressure to outdo your brother's spectacular knockout on Sunday?
We'll mirror motivation instead of being having any jealous or envious about each other's performance. I'm very, very happy and astonished by his win and his performance. I'm definitely not in competition with him because each fight is different and every fight is different. We train hard for this fight, so I'm ready. Is no like saying that I'm gonna outdo my brother or not. It's a different fight.
Thank you. Next question is for Brandon. Some previous contestants and the contender have gone on to win world titles. Are you aware of that, and has that motivated you in any way?
Yes, to some degree it did. Did motivate me about what the past contenders did. But at the same time, on that same note, every man is their own man. So I have to put in the work. I have to do what I have to do to establish myself and do what I am supposed to do to get my hand raised or become a world champion.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, if you have any questions, please dial *1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any more questions, please dial *1 on your telephone keypad. And our next question comes from Jeremy Harridges with Fansided.com.
Hi, Brandon. Congratulations on winning the contender and this wonderful opportunity. My first question for you, there are a lot of factors on paper that are against you. You're fighting in Jermall's backyard, you're the smaller man, and the betting underdog. How do you deal with the pressures of being an underdog, and is that a role that you embrace?
I'm about to say, so far, man, I've felt pretty good about the whole write-up. I haven't let it affect me. I haven't let it bother me. I understand what's going on here, me fighting the champ in his backyard and everything, but my whole life I was never able to really cut corners and take shortcuts, and then in boxing it kind of just followed me the same way. So I don't want it, easy. This is probably, well, in my opinion, this is the best route for me to take, fighting against a world champion and being able to establish myself. Like I said, man, I see everything that Jermall and his brother did in the sport of boxing, and I think that's real dope. I like what they've done, and I know what they mean to boxing. So with that being said, it's going to be a pleasure to share the ring with him this Saturday.
During your time with Freddie now, what has Freddie added to your training? What have you taken away from his wealth of knowledge?
Freddie, man, him and Dub are just alike, but the difference I would take from Freddie and Dub is Freddie would talk to me a lot more through certain things. And Dub kind of like everything is off of reaction. With him, it's more so of like, Dub have me do things without even thinking about it. It's just, it's ultra instinct.
Mm-hmm.
And with Freddie, he walks and talks me through everything. So it's fun. It's, I appreciate working with both of them because they both try to, they both try to wear me down. It's just up to me, to show that youth will prevail.
Mm-hmm. And Freddie, if you're on the line, during your time with Brandon, what have you seen from Brandon that catches your eye and shows you that he has what it takes to win?
I'm sorry, was that a question for Freddie?
Yes.
Hold on one second. I'm so sorry. Can you please repeat the question for Freddie?
Sure. Freddie, during your time with Brandon, what have you seen from Brandon that catches your eye and shows you that he has what it takes to win?
Brandon's a very good puncher. He's got good power, good combinations. He's in great shape. He's a fitness freak. I mean, when we were on the contender show, he's the one who get everyone else in shape. I mean, Brendan, he's a machine, and we're going to bring everything to the table, and we're going to do our best to beat Charlo. I mean, we're 100% ready to this fight.
Thank you, Freddie. And final question for Jermall. Jermall, on the flip side, you're expected to win decisively. Do you feel pressure to deliver an eye-catching performance just based on the expectations that media and odds makers throw out there?
No, I never pay attention to the odd makers, and those guys don't box. So they don't understand, every fight is different. I'm in for a big fight, a big night, and I'm just focused on what Ronnie Shields has brought me. And this is going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night of boxing.
Thank you, gentlemen, and best of luck to you both.
Thank you.
All right. Our next question comes from Eddie Goldman with No Holds Barred. Eddie?
Hi. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. First question for Jermall. With this fight, you're the big favorite in your hometown and all of that, and there's a lot of discussion in the middleweight division about future fights and so forth. How, with all of this, how are you staying focused on this particular fight, knowing there have been a lot of upsets recently and that anything could happen in the ring?
I'm just motivated by those guys who don't finish the job, and this is a legacy fight for me. This, the best I've felt in a long time. My career is definitely where it needs to be, and the pressure's on me. I can't let anybody down, and it's just one of those fights where it's much needed with another hungry opponent, and everyone has doubted me, and everyone who's not on the side of me. It makes me want to fight even harder. So it's just one of those things I have to do and go through.
What do you see as your advantages over Brandon Adams in the fight?
The advantages, they're there. As you've been on the call also, we both have advantages, and it's due for the trainer to bring him out of it. Not saying much about the game plan, but also much about, Brandon Adams, my advantages as I've been there before,
Okay, and Brandon, tell us how you think, why you're confident you're going to be able to win this fight. We all know you're the underdog, but why do you think you'll win?
I think Charlo said it best when he said, stay tuned on Saturday. Oh, man. Tune in.
You'll see. It'll be Showtime June 29th, baby.
Does anybody would either of you like to make a prediction for the fight? How it's going to turn out? Jermall?
It's going to be a great night. And just tune in on Showtime. Prime time is going to be a nice show. I predict fireworks regardless.
Yeah.
Okay. And Brandon, would you like to make any prediction?
Yeah, man, I just want to piggyback off what he said and say, man, that there will be a heck of a show being thrown this Saturday, man, and you hear it yourself, man. We both are ready, prime tune, and we looking to be explosive. So, you know, get your shades, man. There's gonna be fireworks blowing in the sky.
Okay. Good luck to everybody.
All right, thank you guys very much. Greatly appreciate the media for joining us. As we go ahead and wrap this up, want to get, before they, get ready for their matchup on Saturday. Final comments first from the challenger, Brandon Adams, as he gets set to battle Jermall Charlo this Saturday on SHOWTIME Championship Boxing, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock local time down at the NRG Arena in Houston, 6 Pacific time. Brandon, final comments as you get set for your matchup on Saturday.
My final comment is I hope everybody's prepared. I hope everybody's ready. I hope everybody's just as excited as we are. And Jermall, man, you already know, bro. It's go time. Looking forward to sharing that ring with you. Stay blessed.
Jermall, final comments.
Final comments. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to everybody who made this happen. I'd be damned if I let anybody come to my hometown and take something from me. So I hope everyone is prepared, and I'll be ready. I'll see y'all Saturday.
Thank you very much to the champion, Jermall Charlo. Thank you to Brandon Adams and everyone involved in the promotion. We look forward to Fight Week this week down in Houston. Don't forget, Saturday night, Jermall Charlo goes head-to-head against Brandon Adams on SHOWTIME Championship Boxing. Tickets are still available. They are going quickly. Ticketmaster.com is how you get them, or you can watch on SHOWTIME, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time, 8 o'clock Central, down in Houston. Have a great one. We look forward to Fight Week down in Houston.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, you may now disconnect.